Welcome to Moana's Meadow Report. Today is November 11th, 2018, Tuesday. My name is Moana, and a Meadow Report is just a report on how my day is. I usually like to talk about where we're at with the Dave Ramsey program, and I do my best to keep the video 7 to 13 minutes-ish. So, let's go right into it. On Thanksgiving, we had something fun happen. Our car broke down. So with the Dave Ramsey program, the 7 baby steps, and the furthest we've ever gone is baby step number 2, which is get out of debt. So, actually there's another thing that I realized I need to talk about. Okay, so the $1,000 emergency or starter emergency fund is baby step number 1. We had that in place. We were able to keep that in place for a good 5 months until we had to dip into it. And once the car broke down, we knew, oops, we're going to have to dip into the $1,000, which is perfect because that's what the emergency fund is for. And the other, it was a total of $2,000. So the other $1,000 that was utilized to fix the car was my husband's paycheck that he wanted to use to buy some Black Friday stuff. So we missed out on basically all the Black Friday sales that he wanted to take advantage of, but we have a car. So when we found out on Thanksgiving that our car was broke down, the next day, Black Friday, when we were supposed to be shopping, we were just dropping the car off at the shop. The shop said they have it ready in the next day because they just got one mechanic and kept that mechanic on the job the whole time. And actually that shop gave us a great deal on fixing it. I mean, not only was it a great deal that we got it fixed the next day from dropping it off at the shop, but it was also a great deal because he actually quoted us a lower price, and then when he put it in the computer, the price was higher. So he worked his magic and got it down as low as he could to get as close as to the quote that he originally gave us. So then at the end, he was like, and I had to work later that day, but he said, you know, you owe me one. And I'm like, oh, do you like gummy bears? Because I had some gummies in my car, bags of gummies, or gummy rings is what it was. But he's like, no, cookies work best. I was like, okay. So then I went and got a big tray of cookies, a thank you card, and dropped it off the next day, I believe. Maybe the same day. But he seemed super happy. It was plenty of cookies. It was a 60 cookie tray. So, like assorted. So that felt really good. That one, we were able to get our car back fast, so we weren't worried about how I was going to get my husband to work because we just have one car. And then we weren't worried about how I would get to work and then back home. So that was beautiful. It was pretty painless. It was just a bummer that we missed out on those Black Friday sales. But I'm telling you what, if it weren't for that emergency fund of $1,000, we would have been in crisis mode. But instead it was, mode. It was like, dang it. But a lot of things had to be fixed on our car to make it drivable. And so at least there's a whole list of things that we don't have to worry about when it comes to car repairs, because that just happened this year. So not to say that more things won't break down on the car, but we are working on building that emergency back up. We're halfway there again. We're at 500. So hopefully by the end of this month we should be back up at 1,000. Now, one of the other things that happened was our rent was raised quite a bit, and we are used to our rent going up. But in this particular case, it was the highest increase on our rent since we started renting here like 3 years ago. So my husband was just like, let's just start doing it. Let's start saving money for a house. So technically, The second baby step is get out of debt, everything but your house. The third baby step is augment that emergency fund from just the $1,000 starter to 3 to 6 months worth of a living expenses. And then that's 3A, I think. And then 3B is start putting money down. Start saving money for a down payment. When you're getting out of debt, you're not supposed to be saving money at all. And then once you're out of debt, that's when you could start saving money. But my husband wants to give us a good year to start saving. So we are kind of breaking the rules and kind of going out of order. We're doing baby step 1 because we have to replenish the baby step, the $1,000. Baby step 2 because we're still working on getting out of debt. And baby step 3B, putting money down for the house, kind of all together. And you're not supposed to do it that way, but I think we just have $1,000 saved for the house. It's put in a particular account that won't let you touch it. It's called a term deposit account, and once you deposit money in there, you can't touch it until the allocated, I think it was a year I agreed upon, until that year is up. So we're happy that we won't be able to touch that money. My husband wanted to actually put more money in that, but I said, no, we still really need to focus on getting that $1,000 replenished. So that's why we now have the $500 for our emergency fund in there, and then we deposited $500 into that particular account that won't let us touch it. And we already had $500 for the house down payment, and we already had $500 in there now. Prior. So that's why there's $1,000 for the house down payment, and then a $500 for the emergency fund. But here's the interesting thing, which was I didn't know it was going to be of benefit to us. Because we told our credit union that we're interested in getting a house. What do we do? Do we need to, what steps do we need to do to repair our credit? So they got a signature loan for me, and I'm just going to carry that signature loan for 6 months. And then they got a credit card for my husband, and they said for us to be able to issue that credit card for your husband or send off the application, we want you to pay off a few things. And this was really super beneficial. I was kind of annoyed, but now I'm just like, oh, this is cool. Because we owed a lot of medical bills, and I think we still do owe quite a bit of medical bills. I was in 2 car accidents, and one of them I almost died. And in that case, I just broke my back, dissected an artery, messed up my shoulder, got a concussion. So my memories got wiped out, like they disappeared. They went poof. So memories are still coming back to me. But, and then, of course, the after effect is you have physical therapy for quite some time, and that sets you really back. But, so the medical bills, a lot of them went to collections. And then I don't know if you've ever had to work with collections department, and if you have, like when they transfer it over from your original, I guess you could say, merchant or what have you, and it transfers on over to an actual bona fide collections company, I'm telling you what, it's rough. They don't really like to negotiate, but because they want to get, I guess, a commission based upon how much they were able to pull in, and they usually just like to get the full amount due. So in this case, we had enough money where we were able to negotiate really well. We were able to say, okay, what do we owe you? And then they said, of course, there were small amounts, and then they added all sorts of fees. So practically tripled everything. So they said that we need you to pay $760. And if you pay it all at once, we can't take payments. We could, but if you paid all at once, we will send in letters of deletion to the credit card companies. I mean, the credit bureaus. So we did that because it took care of 6 payments. And we got 6 letters of deletion. And then my husband was able to get his first credit card. So we're going to have to figure out how to work the credit card thing, because you're supposed to do a 30/70, where whatever your line of credit is, you're only supposed to charge 30% and make sure 70% is always available. So yeah, we just got that credit card yesterday. So we're kind of scared, but we're like, you know what? This is towards a greater good. We're trying to increase our credit so we could get a house in a year. So it's exciting and annoying because I don't want to adult, but it's okay. So in closing, what was I going to say? In closing, in closing, I know it's going to be all worth it, and it's helping us get closer towards our goal. Just do your best to keep, stay in good standing with whatever company you owe money with, so they do not send it to a collections agency, because they play hardball with collection agencies. So the best of luck to you. And then on a happy note, at Target, they have a Moana ornament. And of course I had to get it. So now I'm going to search far and wide at other Targets to see if they can find a Maui one. So Moana and Maui could be together. I hope you stay meowsing. I wish you the best of luck if you intend on getting out of debt, getting a house, trying or even starting the Dave Ramsey program, or just getting back on board with the Dave Ramsey program. I'm telling you, it is pretty freeing. It's a meowsing, and you stay meowsing. Meow.